So fly with fear and fall with faith. So how does that work? Okay, so when you fly with fear, you are elevating yourself. You are elevating yourself with high vibe thoughts. You're feeling good, you're feeling joy, you're feeling peaceful. And that's because when you fly, FLY, you first love yourself. And we know that everything starts and ends with the relationship that we have with ourselves. So when you first love yourself and you're feeling good, you fly. And what happens when you fly? You elevate. So you're rising. And what happens when you fly with fear? You end up going farther than you would ever imagine because it's taking you out of the comfortable unknown and into a place where you would probably normally never go. Because that fear is a navigation system of where you need to go. Because that fear is probably been a deterrence in where you didn't want to go. But when you know where you want to go and you're feeling good about it, that's usually when we take that leap, right? So we fly with fear. So what happens inevitably in any situation, because life is not a straight line, is that we get to the tippy top, right? We're flying with fear, and then at some point, that fear-based energy is going to override that faith-based energy. And we're going to start to dip, and we're going to start to fall. And this is really, really important. This is actually not a bad thing. When we fall, we have to remember to fall with faith. Right? And my acronym for fall, FALL, is we've got to forgive ourselves, accept what is, love ourselves, and let go. Letting go is key, right? So when we do that, when we fall with faith, we're doing so knowing we are going to be okay. We are going to be safe. We have that safety net. We are creating our own safety net. And when we finally get to the bottom and we're ready to rise again, we can take everything we've learned along the road. If let's say we failed in some endeavor or we have a regret and we just want to move on and shake it off, right? We take that with us, we let it go, that's very key, and we're able to rise again because you can't rise with something tethering you to the ground. You can't, like a helium balloon, can't rise by inflating more helium into it. You've got to untether whatever is shackling it to the ground. So when you let go, you effortlessly rise. And in doing so, this is what our life looks like, right? Up and down and up and down. But inevitably, you're using what you've learned before, you're standing on your story, not in your story, so it'll actually be a rise, a trajectory going up. And this is a really fun fact. How do we know that life is like this? Well, we just have to look at a sinus rhythm from a heartbeat, right? When our heart beats, our sinus rhythm goes like that. And if we flatline, well, then we're flatlined and we don't want to flatline. So we want life to be like this. Life is supposed to be an ebb and flow and up and down. And so when we fly with fear, we get into the uncomfortable unknown, but with an element of love and faith. And then we fall with faith, knowing that we're going to be okay because we can forgive, accept, love, and let go. And one more thing about letting go. When we're at that very tippy top, if we're flying with fear, but the fear starts to override the element or the energy of love and faith, and we're holding on so tight, it's almost as if we're holding on to a hang glider, right? We're gripping on for dear life because we're trying to control a situation. And we know that we cannot control situations. We can only control our response to situations. And so it's imperative when we're hanging on like a hang glider to let go of that control and have faith that everything's going to be okay, that everything is as it is, regroup so that you can boomerang back up and you'll be okay. So that's my little tip on flying with fear, but falling with faith.